Randy, I'm in Dale Earnhardt's pits, and I talked to Andy Petrie, and I asked him if they took those tires off to use them as scuffs, because a lot of times, you know, we talked on break there, Neil said they might try to run scuffs. They said that won't work either. The tires seem to only run 50 laps. That's all they're good for right now. So they're just telling their drivers to back off, take it easy, try to make them last as long as they can.
Thanks, Glenn. With all these driver changes, there have been a number of questions on our 800 number about if the points go with the driver when he changes cars, or does the car have points? And actually both the driver and the car owner have separate point systems and separate point funds. There's the Richard Petty-owned STP Pontiac, Rick Wilson's car being dragged back. So Ernie Irvan keeps his points that he's earned with Morgan McClure this season, but Robert Yates Racing keeps all the points that they earned, the car owner points they earned with Davey Allison and Lake Speed, and for the rest of the year.
You know, we touched on top of the show also, there's manufacturer's points, so there's 3 battles going on at the same time.
What's the record for cautions here at Dover, Greg?
Oh,
Greg Fielden, our statistician's
I'll let you know
look
in
that
about
one
400 laps. I'll let you know.
I think once Richard Petty came from about, it was either 6 or 12 laps down or something here to win. I think you were in that race.
I was in it. I was some of the caution you're talking about.
You folks were talking during one of the breaks about an incident at Charlotte that happened, a race at Charlotte where we had these kind of difficulties.
Well, that's back when we had 2 tire companies in there, and Neil went by me, and I called my crew, and I said, I think he's running a little too hard, and I passed him. He was in the wall. In a few minutes, Harry Gant went by me, and I said, hey, he's running too fast. He's going to smack the wall. And sure enough, he got in the wall, and I said, I got a good pace. Boom! Into the wall I went. So I didn't guess right either.
Richard Petty made up 6 laps here in 1975 to win at Dover, so you can get down and come back. Could happen today. We're under caution at Dover Downs. 125 laps coming up. We'll be right back. They just waved the green flag to restart this race as they come down the front straightaway at Dover Downs. Rusty Wallace leads Ernie Irvan off into the corner. Morgan Shepherd, a lap car. That white car separates them. Jeff Gordon in third. Jeff Bodine, Jimmy Spencer. Then Ricky Rudd in sixth. Bodine and Spencer side by side.
Trying to get that like Jimmy Horton in front of there.
Yeah, that's Errol Horton.
Oh, buddy.
Let me tell you what.
No, I think Michael Jordan's got a patent on that.
Yeah, but let me tell you what, Jimmy Horton is glad to be able to joke about it.
You're not kidding.
Right, he's I'm somebody to be talking.
Yeah. Hamilton, New Jersey driver. In the number 32. Active Trucking Chevrolet. Gone a lap down, had the flyer at Talladega, but back here at his home track and running well.
That could have been active suspension, you know, when he went up.
Could have been. And Ricky Rudd moving up. Ricky's got 3 victories here at Dover. Here's a look at Jimmy Spencer. Let's track his progress through this race. In the last 56 laps, he's gained 5 spots.
You know, when you race under situations like Buddy was talking about Charlotte, I remember being that day at Charlotte, and it's kind of like seeing a guy walk across a minefield and step on one and say, hey, there's more mines, but I got to go across there too.
But you got to get there.
It's a bad feeling, and these guys are going to have to really pace themselves.
One of those mines hit this car, Mark Martin.
Steve Mill down there with a welding machine. These cars are put in big, fancy, nice jigs, but right now they're down to probably a measuring tape and a square and some welding rods trying to put it back together.
And it's not just a matter of getting some kind of suspension and putting a wheel on it. They have to run a minimum speed, or NASCAR won't let them stay out there.
What used to kill me about that, you'd be at Daytona Talladega, you wreck, they say, go out there and ride slow. Well, slow is 150. And you just take an average car and go out there with a front end jumping and bouncing and hopping and try to ride around 150 miles an hour. It's not easy.
Record for most caution flags here, 14. We've had 5 already in the first 100 miles. Record for caution laps, 88, set in 1986.
You see Dale Earnhardt working up through the traffic there. He's being really careful. You know, normally he would go off in that corner and look like he's going to wreck in every corner. He's real smooth on those tires right now.
Pulling up on Dick Trickle. If you joined us late, Brett Bodine crashed Friday, broke his wrist. Say hi to Brett, who's up in Allentown, Pennsylvania, awaiting Dr. Terry Trammell's group of surgeons to set that wrist, put it in a cast, so he could drive next week at Martinsville.
Boy, thank goodness it's just the wrist that's giving him a problem. Because the lick he took, it could have been a lot worse.
What did race car drivers do before Trammell? Hurt?
Drive hurt, I guess.
I guess, because, I mean, they do some wonderful work.
Yep, fellas like Dr. Terry Trammell, Dr. Steve Olney, Dr. Jerry Petty down in Charlotte.
Right, yeah.
Yep. Back at 17th position. Kyle Petty moving around Jimmy Horton.
You could get the field talking to their crew that they want to use their head, pace themselves, try to work there and stay all day long, and then run at the end of the race. I'm sure they're clocking every lap, just like with Kyle, we're watching the rest of the drivers. They give them a call on what they're running.
24 cars on the lead lap, Neil, and I think that looks like the mission right now. Just stay on the lead lap. How do you tell a race driver that, though? Just ride.
That was, you know, I know that was one of my problems. It's like the times I've known there's a problem on the racetrack. What is easy? You know, how much do you back up?
What you have to do is there's cars that have run, you know, 40 laps without any problems, and you get the times that you run that 40 laps, and you try to run within that area. You know, they'll call them out 2480, 2490. All of a sudden you run 2390, and they say, that's a little quick, you better back her down.
Yeah, but one thing that always concerned me about that, too, is thing you enters into it, buddy, you know yourself, too, is Mark Martin said his car was just a little bit tight, but not bad. The guy that's got a tight car is going to eat that right front of a little quicker than the guy that's got a loose car, the rear end trying to get out from under him. And I think we're going to see if there is something to be more right front. So a guy might have a perfect chassis. Rusty Wallace's car might be good to sit here all day long at a good pace because he's got the chassis perfect. If you're off some, you're going to abuse the tires even more.
Front three are tightening up. Jeff Gordon moving back up on the leaders.
Yeah, Gordon's working his way right back in there.
He's riding with him.
See, there is easing along. That's amazing, buddy.
Look at that. Look how good that car is handling now. Look how still his hand is until right here coming out of the corner. It get busy up there.
Yeah, that thing at banking goes up right in. It goes almost reverse angle. That flatness jumps off so quick that, boy, it really makes you go to work right on top of that corner. Look at here, talking about going to work. 28 cars thinking about Irvin, thinking about taking the lead a little bit.
Pit stop for Greg Sachs in the Country Time Ford. Back out on the racetrack.
And watch him get busy right here.
You know what it reminds me of? Cale Yarborough would go off in the corner, and he would just, his hand, the wheel would never be still. He'd always be working it somewhere.
I was just thinking to say, ain't nobody ever whipped a wheel like he did.
Then he whipped them in the right direction. I probably did.
I guarantee you was tough.
He sure did.
Boy, you'd be riding along with the caution, you see him grabbing gloves, pulling the slack out of him. He'd fix to go to work.
Yeah, when he pulled them up where he could put them under his armpits, he was in trouble.
Okay. Let's get out of the pits. Here's Glenn.
Well, we're outside the hospital. Richard Petty has just come up and talked to his driver, Rick Wilson, to see if he's okay. That's what we're wanting to find out. Rick, that was an awfully hard hit. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. You know, messed my side up a little bit, a little sore, but, you know, we were running pretty decent. The car just jumped out from under me. I don't know if we had a flat tire or what. You know, we've been struggling, but, you know, I'm okay. I just want to tell my family I'm okay. Be home tomorrow, and everything will be okay.
Thanks, Rick.
Bill from Illinois wanted to know how the drivers are protected from the acid from the battery mounted right behind them in the car for weight distribution.
That thing is concealed. The access to it is through the left rear wheel opening. You can't even get through it to it from the inside of the race car. It's sealed off totally. The only access is through that wheel opening.
Right. NASCAR's first priority is protecting the drivers. You can build more race cars. Richard Childress told us on pit lane at Talladega after you had your wreck. He says, as long as Neil's okay, we can build another car.
You also have a rubber casing that sits down in, so there's a lot of protection for the battery there.
First, second, third, Wallace, Irvan, Gordon, 142 laps have been completed.
Looks like Gordon gets pretty aggressive here.
That Evernham's telling him, you're in a good spot. Sit there. Don't get too aggressive.
Okay. Watching Ted Musgrave, who we asked if it looks like the manufacturers have stepped up their attempts to secure drivers to run for one make of car. Ted?
Boy, I'll say, isn't it? You know, here we got Ernie Irvan on our side now, and I hear rumors that maybe the 2-car will come back with a Ford next year. So that's rumor so far. Let's just see what happens. But manufacturers are trying to do the best they can, and whatever it's going to take is what they're going to do.